changing dramatically.
And I want to make sure we're all good to go. First thing we're going to do is...
Elizabeth says, hey, she thinks it's growing because they're utilizing artificial intelligence to assist. What do you think about that? Check. Well, what's another way to look at that? Yes, ma'am. And I apologize. Remind us of your name.
There is a very cool all organization fairs going on out
that can deliver food to hotels. Do you think that could dilute room service? All right. What are some of the reasons room service might not be growing?
What is an all organization?
It's expensive. What else?
I want you to find your team.
Limited menu sometimes. What else?
That part I knew. Don't know. Somebody tell me.
If I'm out, if you're in a hotel and it's a big hotel, 500 rooms, is it a big hotel? How long does it take the food to get from the kitchen to your room? Long time. Can we serve it hot? Not very well. And then you've got to get the tray back and the dirty dishes. How many of you have seen dirty dishes in a hallway of a hotel and gone, ooh, that doesn't look so good? Right? So all of those reasons, it's tough because some hotels will have room service attendants to go up and serve and deliver, but they don't know how many to staff. And I might have a room service attendant on at my 300-room hotel, but they might only serve 2 meals a night. Have I lost money? Probably. And it's expensive. They charge a delivery charge. They charge an automatic gratuity. So room service has challenges. What are hotels doing in lieu of that? They're allowing delivery services to come in. That's one. What else are they doing? They're making deals with outside restaurants. Hey, we'll put your menu, your TGI Fridays menu in our hotel, but we get 10% of every meal that you deliver to the hotel. Right? Or we get a little revenue stream that way. What else are they doing?
Very important.
You go into a hotel lobby today. How many of you have traveled and stayed in a hotel lately? All right, what's going on with hotel lobby?
Might as well be getting your share. But part of that application and your
Snacks, drinks, wine. Have you been to an H-E-B or a Central Market or Whole Foods? What do they have now? Wine bars. They're trying to create community. That's what hotels are doing. Millennials say, we want to meet people. We're social. Don't give us a sterile lobby. We don't want to stay in our room. We're just going to use our room to sleep. We want to be downstairs with a TV, with music, with bar, with food. So you'll find lots of, not lots, but you'll find a fireplace. You'll have seating. You'll have a wine bar with some snacks. And that's what they're doing today in lieu of big restaurants that nobody sits in. So that you don't meet people in those restaurants, right? So that's what they're moving toward, and that's another reason room service isn't going so well, because people want to come downstairs, or they want to visit a place nearby the hotel, which makes the concierge position that much more important. All right. So thank you, Angela. That's room service. Manuel, what's another area where we can make money on food and beverage in a hotel?
Okay. So how many of you are familiar with this concept called top hat?
Yeah?
Many of you.
Well, wait, what I'm looking at right now are the food outlets, food and beverage outlets that the food and beverage director would manage. Restaurants, exactly right. Can I have a freestanding a restaurant inside a hotel? Almost always. At the very least, I'm going to have a food court or a food area where we serve breakfast. Yeah. Might also do a happy hour in there. Yeah.
And to take
Embassy Suites does a breakfast and they do a happy hour every day for their guests. That drives a lot of brand loyalty for them. You wouldn't think that 2 or 3 beers or 2 or 3 glasses of wine would make such a difference to people, but it does. Let that be a cheap lesson for you. When in doubt, serve alcohol. All right? Good. That's another good one. Yes, ma'am, your name is Holly. Mini bar in your room. Now, same kind of challenges we have with room service. Right? Not everybody uses it. Why not? It's expensive. Some places do the mini bars where now it's gotten to be a little easier. There was also a theft problem for a long time, but what have they done now? What has technology enabled us to do?
Don't worry about it.
Well, we have a key so we can lock it. We know if you've opened it because it has a seal, so we know you opened it. But just because you opened it, does that mean you consumed anything? No, what's another way?
Quizzes get to be a little more
You
challenging.
can take the weight. That's of alcohol typically. We measure alcohol by weighing it. That's a very good point. We'll talk about it in a minute. They don't have security cameras in the guest room. No, right? How do we track food items? How do we know that you drank 2 bottles of water and 2 Cokes just like that? Well, the housekeeper can count them, or the person that's in charge of mini bars goes into each room. But man, that sounds like a lot of work, and I got to have the information the next morning when you check out. Come on, my millennial technology guru. Yeah, they got sensors, right? And as soon as that passes outside the mini bar frame, bing, it gets rung up. Ka-ching! $8, please, for that $1 bottle of water.
That's a good idea.
How many of you
But it's convenient. Did you have to leave your room?
How many of you have felt?
Could you stay in your robe and your slippers and you drank your water?
Here's the scenario.
Would you pay $8 for that? I know you say that now, but never say never.
Uber driver.
Spending money is relative. If you got $1 billion in the bank, would you spend $8 for a bottle of water? Probably. If you had $5 in the bank, would you spend $8 for a bottle of water? Probably not. All right, today nobody's spending $8 on a bottle of water because the stock market has gone 1,500 points, down 1,500 points in 2 days.
Picking up women that were
Right?
heavily
So everybody's going,
intoxicated.
I'm
Sometimes-
canceling that road trip I had.
Even if he wasn't the right driver,
So,
he would pull up in front.
mini bars, big area of business, and there's some revenue there because of why. This gets us into another topic on the quiz. Why are mini bars still out there? The profit margin, what we call, you saw it on the test. What's the difference between the price and the cost of an item? You need to remember this for the next 3 chapters. The price and the cost of an item. In other words,
That's right.
the price is what the consumer pays for the
Why
item.
are Uber and Lyft at least
Hold on, no.
in this
Oh, don't go there.
respect, safer
The cost
than a taxi?
is what the entity, the hotel or the restaurant actually paid for the item. Just the cost of the
You have a
food,
photo
or the bottle of water, or the can of beer, or the bottle of wine. Doesn't include your labor cost or any of your other costs.
You open the door.
Right? That's an important distinction. Like where you're going, just want to make sure we're tracking the same way.
And you go, Michael, and they go, no,
Price is what the
George, or
consumer
whatever.
pays.
Well, your
If it's an
license
$8
plate
bottle
doesn't
of water,
match.
and
Oh,
that
yeah,
bottle of
driving
water
my friend's
costs
car.
me
What do you do?
50 cents, right? What's my
Check that
contribution
through the
margin?
window before you get into the
$7.50.
See?
Contribution margin is the difference between the price the consumer pays
But you
and
also
what it
raise
costs
the
me
so intoxicated.
to get it into my inventory, right?
Do we act rationally?
So the
when we're
contribution
intoxicated?
margin on
Do we let our guard
minibar
down?
items is good. If that same customer goes down to your refrigerator at the front desk,
This driver.
are they going to pay $8 for that bottle of water? No, they're going to pay $2.50 and complain about it.
They know
What's my
before
contribution
when
margin?
That we're intoxicated. That he
$2, right? Would I rather sell it from the minibar or at the front desk?
sexually assaulted them.
I'd rather sell at the minibar all day long, right? 'Cause would you rather make $7.50 with your sales, or would you rather make $2 with your sales? All right, that's a lesson for you to learn for your entire life. Would you rather make $11 an hour with your time, or $200 an hour with your time? Tell me. Well, then think that way. When you spend your time, think about it, because every time you're settling for $11 an hour, you're giving up $50 an hour,
Okay, hold on.
or $100 an
There's
hour,
two
or
sets of facts
$200 an
here.
hour.
Sometimes
It's just
he
a
was
matter
the
of
real
finding
driver.
that job.
Sometimes he wasn't. If he was the actual,
Maximize your time.
even though they didn't
Is there
match
an
it up, it just turned
opportunity
out that
cost
he
with
was.
your time?
Would that change your opinion?
Are you spending an opportunity cost to go to college? You're not only paying tuition and fees, but what could you be doing now instead of in here? You could be working and making money. So you can't just think about what you spend. You have to think about your opportunity cost. Do you see
It's a
that?
criminal act.
I don't charge extra for
There's
that kind of
intention
stuff.
to
I'm
do
just
that. Is
sharing
that
with
fair?
you something you want to think
You
about.
think also, though, that
Right.
the women
Now-
have some responsibility. They got too intoxicated, right?
Contribution margin
that fair?
is crucial. hold on to that thought.
Anybody else that might have some responsibility?
Feel that way to you?
Why Uber?
Other outlets.
Talk about chapter 9. It's tourism.
Lyric. Other
I
outlets.
didn't say that, but it's okay. We can make it up as we go
Roll your
along.
eyes at me, Lyric. No, I'm just telling you. You're thinking. I know you.
You think Uber, since they use
They
those
do.
drivers,
Can you just have a bar?
they should be responsible.
Might have some
for the
tapas.
action.
What are tapas?
Now, here's a distinction.
Small
Typically in the
appetizer type
United
plates for
States,
sharing.
when you
Another
have an
community
employment
type
relationship,
concept, right? So we'll serve wines. Lots of wines by the glass.
Elizabeth,
Lots of
I
mixed
employed
craft
Elizabeth.
cocktails,
Elizabeth
beer.
did something
Yeah.
wrong.
Think people
I,
can
as the
sit in
employer
quickly,
of
have
Elizabeth,
something, go
would
watch
be
the games,
responsible.
whatever they want
That's
to see.
the
You see a
legal
lot of
theory we
sports
have in the
bars
United
being
States.
developed
But how
in
does Uber
hotels.
classify their drivers?
Very good. Any other types of food and beverage
Independent
outlets in a
contract.
hotel?
And it's much more difficult to
Spa.
hold
We could have some spa
Uber
foods that we serve in there. Good point. What else?
It does happen.
Deli shop, right? The gift shop could also be have some deli or prepared foods in it, right? You're seeing more and more prepared foods
But they're an
in
independent contract.
smaller hotels
Would you still
where
believe
people
that
can
Uber
grab and
has
go
some
up to their room,
responsibility
especially your
because of the way
extended
they're
stay,
advertising
where they have a microwave or a small apartment-sized kitchen or refrigerator
Anybody
inside
else
the
might have
hotel
some
room.
responsibility.
They're doing it all there. Why should you have to go out to My Fit Foods to buy something? You can have it right here in the hotel lobby, right? One-stop shopping. The hotel drives some more revenue. Yeah. That's what's going on in the hotel
Clearly,
business
we've got the
today.
driver.
All right, there's one last food and beverage concept we haven't thought about.
Those actions, no doubt. But we got the
Manuel.
driver and the criminal, the same person.
Well, they got vending machines. That's a very good one. I hadn't even thought about that. But the vending machines on different floors, do we get a cut of those?
We've got
We do. We get a cut of those. They come by and we get some dough. It's good. It's easy money. I call it ka-ching money. That's what you're looking for. Ka-ching. Everybody get it? You have to do nothing. We got some money. It drops in your bank account.
Might have some responsibility.
You're on the beach in Aruba. Ka-ching. That's the money you're looking for today. Right?
That's interesting.
All right. But we're still missing one. Yes, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Here's
Evelyn.
the challenge we have.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Do we have to have a kitchen to prepare that?
Typically,
Yeah, those are big time. So the equipment we need for catering and events is different, right? If I'm going to prepare a meal for 2, do I need the same type of equipment if I'm going to prepare a meal for 150? I've got to have ovens that can hold things at the same temperature for quite a while, so everything gets served at the same temperature at the same time or over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Do you see that? And I got to have a banquet staff, and I got to have enough space, and I got to have more plates. And who's going to be responsible in the hotel to make sure I have those plates and those knives and forks?
After we drink.
The steward. Remember
That's
that?
why we don't let
The
people
steward
drive.
is who's responsible.
We
for
don't let
supply,
people enter into
kitchen.
contracts. when
Got all
they've
that?
been drinking.
Glassware, things like that. All right, good.
It is going to be
Very good. Let's go back to the quiz.
How?
What other questions were on
Great
there?
job of identifying the potential.
What's the capture rate?
Fail quick. It's going to take a jury to figure out what's what.
Into the restaurant, right? How many people are you getting into the restaurant? How many people are staying at the hotel that actually use the restaurant? That's your capture rate. Why? When somebody books a room at a hotel, do I just want their room night money?
81% of them are.
What else do I want to
So what
capture?
you're saying to me, and this is a very good point.
I want
in the
everything.
Industry all the time.
I want to capture their
What you're
dough.
saying to me then
Right?
is,
Hey,
it's
come stay at our restaurant. We're going to give you
for the
10%
bar,
off the prime rib
because
dinner.
it's a
By the way,
Never.
second glass of wine is
The
half
amount of
price.
alcohol they
By the
drink
way,
is those
get a shoe shine for $2. By the way, we'll clean that shirt for $4.50. By the way, right, you need a ride into downtown. It's a $5 shuttle. Whatever it is, right? Hotels are learning to drive revenue from different sources, and that's why they need people like you that understand different target markets to tell them what people want today and what they'll pay for.
Success today is if they made a car.
Learn airlines are doing this now. How many of you like that airlines charge for bag? Of course not.
Would you think
How many of you
that
like
car
a sharp
should be
stick
on
in
the
the
road?
eye? Nobody.
Right.
Okay, how many of you like to pay for food on a plane? Nobody. But that's what airlines are doing, and why are they not stopping? Because they're making billions of dollars doing it. And do you really have a choice of the airline you can fly on? It's only a handful of them. You got to fly on one or two of them, right? So they know. You get as mad as you want. Hotels, though, are different, right?
You make a very fair point.
If you don't want to stay at the La Quinta, you can go across the street to the Best Western. But hotels also doing what?
They're like, hey, it's not possible.
Consolidating.
There
might be 5 franchisors today that own 150 of the hotel brands.
That doesn't mean you have to
They
agree with
control
me.
a lot of the market, so you're going to see some of these things happen. Marriott just announced,
It's not your turn because the red lights
this is
are
going
on.
to get a little complex, but stay with me.
How about in the grocery store when you stand
A
in line?
career path for you is to be a third-party meeting planner.
But what about the
So when you read this chapter, you probably read about working in the catering and events department, right? We talked about sales, catering, and events, yes? And you go out and let's say your job is the business banquet sales director, so you're going to go to people like Google, Facebook, oil and gas companies and say, hey, stay with us and hold your meetings with us, right? That's your job.
Most people do that.
Okay.
It's much easier to track that and to count the number of
But what if there was a company out there that didn't work for your hotel
What good did that do?
that had customers
Whatsoever.
that relied upon them to find the right hotel for them to hold their meeting at? Would you want to know about those people as the sales manager? Of course you would, because you want to say, hey, Elizabeth, I know you work with 20 different companies and you book meetings for them. Would you please book them at my hotel, right? That's called a third-party meeting planner. Do you remember we had third-party management companies to manage the hotel? Do you remember that? Right. This is the same concept, third-party meeting planner. So Elizabeth takes a job with a company as a, let's call it Helms Briscoe. That's the big dog on the porch. Helms Briscoe.
Physical manifestations. That's what you guys are trained on when you take that, right?
Elizabeth comes to me, Google, and says, hey, Google, I want to represent you and book all your meetings, and I know the meeting business inside out. I can help you negotiate your contracts. Plus, I'll send out an RFP. What's an RFP? Request for proposal. RFP, request for proposal. I'm going to send an RFP out to 30 hotels in downtown Houston where you want to hold a meeting, and I'm going to get competition, and I'm going to get the best deal for you, right? And I'm going to save your workforce 100 hours by doing this for you because I've got it all automated. Is that a good deal for Google? Absolutely. And the best part, how much is it going to cost me?
It's just
nothing.
not enough to take their keys.
They don't charge me anything. Wait, how does Elizabeth and Helms Briscoe get paid?
Consequences of overservice.
The hotel pays them. How?
Stands well outside just driving.
With a commission.
You get that?
If I book 300 room nights, listen to this. If I book 300 room nights and another $50,000 in food and beverage, right? 300 room nights, let's say at $200 a night, how much money is that? Say $60,000.
Services, Uber,
200 times 300, 60,000. Everybody got that?
whatever it is.
60,000.
Part of the lodging industry.
Plus 50,000 in food and beverage.
Airbnb.
Helms Briscoe
You're in the hotel
gets 10% of that.
No.
So Helms Briscoe made $6,500 by being Match.com
Why not?
for businesses that wanted to book an event and a hotel that wants to host an event. Do you see that? And they give Elizabeth about half of that. So Elizabeth made $3,750 by booking. Sorry, $3,250 by booking one event. Now Elizabeth books 10 events for that month. Can you do the math?
Not the typical social scene of a hotel.
There you go. In a month. And she did it from home in her pajamas and slippers.
Legally, it doesn't video you.
You like that?
Which we've had some.
There you go. You're sitting home with Charlie the dog,
Hotels complain
and you're doing your laundry.
Airbnb operator.
Plumber shows up to fix your pipe, and bam, you book an event and make $3,000 bucks.
Typically not pay that
There you go,
hotel
dude. That's the way of the world. That's what you're looking for today. So look at third-party meeting. We call them procurement specialists. What does procurement mean?
They not have to pay.
Procure, to buy. Procurement is to assist in the procuring process. I'm going to procure space for your event. I'm going to help you buy it. I'm going to help you secure it. Third-party meeting procurement companies. Look at those when you think I'm going to work. Now the problem is they're all commission.
Type of tax. It is totally unique.
So if you need income tomorrow to pay your bills, that job's not for you.
Who works in the hotel business?
But you can start this part-time, go while you're doing your other job, build up a pipeline of clients, get a little cash flow rolling in, and then you can go out on your own. See how it works? Now I brought that up because I was talking to you about consolidating in the market. Remember I told you about connecting the dots? Do you remember that? Thinking differently? Remember Marriott just bought Starwood. Do you remember that conversation? All right, well, Marriott now controls, I told you this,
all your charges, your room night,
one out of how many?
Restaurant, went to the spa, there's a resort.
Oh, how many percent? What percent of all hotel rooms in the world does Marriott control now?
FOLIO.
17%. So almost 1 out of 5. 17% of every hotel room is branded with a Marriott brand. Now, not just Marriott.
Think about it. And when I
Right,
ask you
Westin,
what it is,
Ritz
you can tell me
Carlton,
what it is.
Marquis, JW,
Jordan,
Courtyards,
Jordan.
Renaissance, Fairfield, right? All their different brands. One out of about every 5 or 6 hotel rooms is a Marriott brand in the world. Now, do they have power? Do they have leverage? If you're a third-party meeting planner, what are the odds you're going to host a meeting at a Marriott?
Room charges.
Pretty good, right?
Food and beverage.
They were paying 10% commission to groups like Thomas
Everything
Briscoe.
you spend
What
at
did
the
they just do?
That's included on your bill.
They just slashed the commission to 7%.
Yeah, right. Now, back to this.
So now, if Elizabeth wants to hold a meeting at a Marriott, she's only going to get 7%.
Every city,
Now, if Hilton doesn't follow suit
when they license a
with all of their brands, where's Elizabeth more likely to book her hotels? Marriott or Hilton? Hilton, right? So Marriott is thinking what? When they move it to 7%, what are they hoping happen? That the other hotel chains drop it to 7%.
And what is that? Where does that money go? Because this is
See how that works? When United raises the price of the ticket from here to Dallas by $40, what are they hoping everybody else in the market does? Raise the price. Is it illegal for the CEO of United to call up the CEO of Southwest and go, hey, we need to raise the price on air traffic between Houston and Dallas? Is that illegal?
Are they in Houston?
Yeah. That's called collusion. It's an antitrust violation. You cannot fix prices between competitors.
Taxes in Houston are almost the highest in the country, if not the highest.
If you sell sushi rolls for $10.99 and a sushi place opens across the street and you go have lunch with the manager, and during lunch she says, hey, let's both raise our prices to $13.99 and agree to keep them that way, we both make more money. Can you do that? Not unless you want to go to jail.
Tourism.
There's serious criminal penalties for colluding on price and anti-competitive strategies in the United States. You cannot collude on price
They pay into a tax
in the U.S. of A. Do you see that? It's called antitrust activities. We don't let that happen.
And spend more money here.
Everybody understands that. That's another cool topic to ride on if you're interested.
Occupancy taxes to do.
All right. Now, let's trickle down a little bit
Bring the Super Bowl to
into
Houston.
the operation of this food and beverage area. And do you remember when we talked about hotels, we talked about an average daily rate. Do you remember we talked about RevPAR? And we talked about average occupancy. Do you remember that? We talked about the STAR report and how that helps us compare our business to other people's business. Everybody?
Are they right?
So there's a key ratio in the food and beverage side of a hotel known as, we talked about contribution margin. That's not a ratio, that's just a number.
Yeah.
But what about
Oh my word.
on food? is food cost percentage an important ratio in the hotel food and beverage department?
As much as I
Yeah.
enjoyed hearing
So
about it, it
how
made me
do
a
we
little sad.
find our food cost?
I taught your mother, right? Oh my goodness, yeah.
Cost divided by, say it out loud, Helmer. Sales, exactly. So we know what our cost is, Holly, just what it cost us to put that hamburger together, not the labor. But if I sell a hamburger, it's the bun, it's the patty, it's the pickles, it's the onion, lettuce, tomato. Where's Jimmy Buffett when I need him?
Minute Maid Park?
Oh, you guys don't know who that is.
Yeah. Baseball
I
stadium.
like mine with lettuce and
Oh, it's not
tomato,
called Minute Maid
Heinz
anymore?
57 and French
Oh,
fries,
BBB is the
potatoes.
soccer. But Minute Maid's
Pickle and a cold draft beer. Well, good
World
God
Series, you got
Almighty,
another
which
part.
way to...
Right.
I got to play Jimmy Buffett for you guys. Oh my
Who's the little guy that
God!
plays for
No
them?
parrot heads in
Jose?
here.
Oh,
You gotta
he's
like,
awesome.
yeah, gotta
He's
like
so much fun
that.
to watch.
Grady, you know who Jimmy
look, they
Buffett
built all
is.
these
Surfer dude.
stadiums.
You got it going on. All right.
More people to come to the city.
Next time you better sing when I sing.
It kind of runs that into
So
the city.
it's all of those things added together, right?
CBB.
So if all of those things, Helma, cost me $2,
Convention and Visitors Bureau.
and I sell the hamburger for $10, that's what the consumer pays. What's my food cost percentage?
If I want to rent
Food
a room
cost
at my house,
percentage.
and I'm not licensed with the city.
Flip it.
And you come and stay with me and pay me
You told me it was food
$85
cost divided by sale. So it's $2 divided by $10. Your cost is always your numerator. Your sales price is always your denominator,
You have to add sales
which
tax
means
and
you always
17%
divide the denominator into your
Now that's
numerator, right? You guys know your fraction?
Is that fair?
So I got my
competition?
numerator on top, my denominator's on, which means divide by, that's what that line means, right?
Hey, at least make
So
it
I'm going
a
to
level
divide 2
playing
by
field.
10, which gives me what?
If you're going to license
20%,
us,
0.20, which is, Grant?
any lodging
Exactly.
in
It's always good to
Houston
come
has
after
to
it.
do the same.
Yeah, it's good.
Is that fair?
20%.
Look at the jury and
Everybody got that?
Anybody
Right
thinks
now,
otherwise.
Helmut,
It's
what's
okay
my
if you do.
contribution
Some
margin
people
on
argue,
that
hey, it's my
hamburger?
house. I should be able to do whatever I want to with it.
that you're bringing in. And very rare.
Make those
Right?
choices.
Is that
But should they?
want to be a leader?
What if you are a neighbor of somebody that rents out 80% of their apartment to Airbnb?
Nope, don't go with labor. Just my contribution margin. My cost of goods sold was what? My cost of goods sold was $2. I sold it to the consumer for,
Lots of different
what's the difference?
challenges.
8. My contribution margin was $8. Let me show you why that's important right now.
The landscape of the hospitality industry is changing.
Okay.
Right? So that
Blonde hair. I'm sorry, man. What's your name?
rest of it and we can
Lily. I'm going to get that one of these days. I apologize. Lily. If I sell hot dogs
let's
for $5
The revenue equation.
one
and it costs me
that says
$1
industry
cost of goods sold. The hot dog, the bun, the relish, the mustard, you guys, you know where I'm going, right? That cost me $1. I sell it for $5. What's my contribution margin?
industry.
$4 exactly right. What's my food cost percentage?
Airlines and hotels. Was it Mo?
$1 cost divided by $5 sales price. What's my percentage?
Ditched my class already?
Turn it around. 1 over 5. 1/5. What's 1/5 translate to? 20%.
What's the difference?
Very good, Lily. I like the way you did that in your head. It was awesome.
Very good.
Does everybody see how that worked?
We do purchase
Food cost
travel
percentage is
online,
20%. You guys took your
and we were
SATs,
kind
right?
of- the airline industry
Y'all made
was
perfect score on the
pioneer
math?
of that.
Anyway, so 20%.
you can buy
So you got
almost
20% food cost, right? All right, I got
even though
20%
that
food
was
cost,
the distinction
and I got a
before,
$4
and it's very good
contribution
thinking.
margin. Hang on to that
Not
thought.
so much today,
Now,
but since you brought it
who's
up.
next to you? Lily,
what
what's the
is
guy's
an
name?
OTA?
You, dude, yeah.
What do they got to do with
OTA.
Tell me.
Have you ever bought
Nick.
anything from Expedia?
Nick.
Have you ever booked a
Nick at night.
car rent from Expedia?
Nick at night.
still think
Now,
it's an
let's go
OTA.
back to hamburgers, Nick, but forget Helma's hamburger. This is a super special, super duper a la Peter T. Hooper deluxe hamburger. You ready?
Booking.com.
So you're gonna, this hamburger costs you,
Oh, yeah, man. I was in the grocery store one time 10 years ago. I was doing this before I forget.
this hamburger
Back to something.
costs
I was
you
talking to Helma about occupancy taxes.
$8.
30 days. So that's what I did. No sugar for 30 days.
And you sell it
My daughter's mother at the time.
for 16.
2008 had economic crash.
What's my food cost percentage?
Come back to that. 30 days is up. This clean up something that I didn't get. Bag of Chippewa, not the little one.
When we were talking about
Nick.
occupancy tax,
Quit watching Nick at Night.
the only industry
Practice your
that
remedial math.
has visitors
$8 is my cost. $16 is my sale. We're going to divide 8 by 16. 8 over.
where the
Nick, 8 over 16 is
residential
1/2.
population isn't
1/2 is what
See why
percent?
occupancy tax
50, Nick. 50%.
I thought I was doing so good when I.
Did you
guys
say
live
that?
in the city of Houston.
Oh, he did?
And allegedly
I didn't hear you, dude. I'm sorry.
Right?
Did he say that? Did you guys hear
This
that?
tax is not on you, right? The occupancy
My bad.
tax, because you typically don't stay in a
Thank you.
hotel
Nick,
in your own
yeah,
city.
good. Thank you. You
You
said
see that?
50%. Yeah, you thought it was too easy. Can this be right? He was right.
Politicians know,
50%.
hey,
What's my contribution margin?
Higher occupancy tax.
$8.
You
Very
won't vote us out of
good.
office
Lily,
because it doesn't impact you.
what was our food cost on the hot dog?
Visitors,
Food,
yes, who
food
don't
cost
get to vote.
percentage on the hot
How
dog?
many of you remember your
20%. So, Lily,
revolutionary history
Nick,
in the United States?
if you're just looking at
She goes,
food
"No, it
cost,
doesn't." I said, the cry was.
do I want to sell the
taxation
hamburger or do I want to
about
sell the hot dog?
representation? The United Kingdom.
Right? If I'm looking at food cost percentage, do I want to sell the hamburger or I want to sell the hot dog?
Politicians over there.
Oh, yeah.
I want to sell the hot dog because I got a much lower food cost percentage on the dog.
It was crazy.
Right?
Taxation
It's
without
only 20%.
representation.
I want to sell hot dogs all day long,
When
right?
you go to New York City,
Because if I'm just looking at my
you pay
food
that
cost in a
tax.
vacuum,
But
that
you get
sounds
to
good.
vote
But
on the
Nick,
politicians
how
in
much
New
am I
York City
making
that
every time I
pass
sell
the
a dog?
tax.
Every time I sell a dog.
It's classic taxation without
Ah,
representation.
Lily, help
We just
him out.
Had a revolution.
Lily, he already forgot your hot dog price.
Now, what's the other industry?
$4, right? But Nick, every time I sell a hamburger, how much contribution, how many dollars of contribution am I putting toward my expenses?
So you don't complain about it.
$8. Would I rather sell hamburgers or hot dogs,
We
Nick?
talked about it last time. Think about all the different aspects of
Nick,
travel and tourism.
do you remember the conversation we had 10 minutes ago where I said you can make $11 an hour, you can make $20 an hour? Which one would you rather do?
Exactly right.
20. If you can make $4 a dog or $8 a burger, which one would you rather do? Burger, dude, exactly. Thank you, Nick. Do you see how that works? So you can't, food cost is important because it helps you with your standardized recipes and making sure that portion sizes are right. Yeah. And it also helps you determine the appropriate contribution margin. That's helpful. But you have to look at contribution margin as well. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table.
Okay, so it's the same thing with the rent cars. And now you know taxation.
Evelyn, if I
without
sell a
representation,
steak
you know how it all happens.
for $40 and it costs me $20,
That's 4 days. I what we do in this
my food cost percentage is 50%. Same as that burger. But would I rather sell steaks or burgers?
stadiums and things like that.
Steak, because I got a $20 contribution margin on that steak. Do you see that? So on my menu, what do I want to promote? Hot dogs, hamburgers, or steak?
Occupancy tax.
Steak.
Get a part of it. The state rental fee.
It's all about revenue management. It's all about yield management, right? Now, I get to take that contribution margin money, that $4 on the hot dog, the $8 on the hamburger, the $20 on the steak, and do what with it?
From Houston go to Dallas, they pay it. So we're just robbing.
Because that's my free cash flow from that sale, right? I got to take $1 on the dog and pay for the dog and the relish and the bun and the pickles, etc. I got to take $8 on the hamburger, pay for the patty and the bun and the lettuce and the onion and the pickle. I got to take the $20 from the $40 of the steak and buy the steak.
Convention and meeting cities.
So that leaves me $20 or $4 or $8 to do what with, Nick?
Which ones would you think?
I'm going to keep this flapjack on the griddle, buddy. Keep going.
Chicago's big. You guys are missing the biggest.
Well, is my only expense the hamburger?
Vegas.
Or the hot dog? What else do I have to pay for?
Orlando.
I got to pay for the people that make it, the people that serve it. Do I have to pay rent?
Then you've got
Insurance,
Chicago,
utilities. Do I need to provide Wi-Fi? Do I need music in the joint? Do I need chairs, furniture, fixture, and equipment? That has so that's the money that goes to. Do you have to pay your lawyer, Nick? Say yeah. Nick, am I a lawyer? Yeah. Do you have to pay your lawyer? Nick, did you read my bio before you came into this class?
I got off track
Nick,
and I apologize.
did you read
I
that?
wanted to go back and catch
Then
up.
I'm a lawyer.
Now we're back to
You got to pay your lawyer, Nick.
what's
Rule
the
number one, pay your lawyer.
characteristic
There you go.
It's fascinating.
So,
of
do you
airlines
see,
and
Nick, why
hotels
we
from
need
any
this
other
money
industry.
and why we want to
Nick
maximize
shared
the
with us, hey,
contribution
it's
to our
because
cash
we sell
flow,
our products
right?
and services
So now,
online.
Nick, if you're going to open your restaurant with your grandparents' money,
We started out
it's their
being
life
the only
savings,
ones,
and they're
but
dependent upon you
everybody's
for their
thought about
retirement.
just
Do you want to sell hot dogs, hamburgers, or steak? There you go, Nick.
what else makes
You're a
us
genius, dude. I love it. Thank you very much for walking us through that. It was an awesome job. Say thank you, Nick.
Let's say
That's not an easy thing to do. You managed it well. Way to go.
perishability. What we sell is
That's terrific.
perishable.
Everybody get that?
Perishable
Nick is a
means
wonderful teacher.
it will go
That's the
bad.
lesson we learned from that conversation.
Okay?
All right, everybody golden?
Think
And did you
about it
see
this
that?
way.
And you see why it's so important? And you see why I've done this? Now, we're going to come back to that when we talk about restaurant operations.
In my hotel.
And I'm probably not going to call on dear old Nick. I'm going to call on somebody else.
I only sell 99
Did everybody see that, though? You see how that works and why it's so important and why you have to connect dots and why you can't look
Will I
at things
ever
in a
be
vacuum.
able to sell that room night? Don't think about the
Why are
physical room.
hotels so
Think about the
successful?
room night to night. Will I ever be able to get the money
Their
for that
contribution
room night
margin
in the
is
future?
high. Look,
It's
we
gone
just saw for
forever.
a hot dog,
I
the
have
contribution
forever
margin is
lost
$4.
that
For a hamburger, it's $8. For a steak, it's $20.
From that
In a $150 hotel room, what's my contribution margin? About $130.
Okay.
I got to pay the housekeeper to go in and clean it for 30 minutes. Right? I'm paying her or he $20 an hour. That's $10 for 30 minutes. I got some shampoo and conditioner. I got some washing sheets. I got a vacuum, use a little electricity. Cost me $20. Now I got some wear and tear and depreciation on the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, right?
$100.
I got a Wi-Fi expense. That's $20. So my contribution margin is what? $130 for every room that I sell.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. It's like when we.
Would you rather sell hotel rooms or steak?
Right, and somebody comes up, we're like,
Well, there you go. That's why you got a hotel popping up on every corner.
I know they did it, right? Only doing 9,900 the day before.
Listen, I'll go out and I'll speak to Choice Hotels, or I'll speak to Best Westerns, or I'll speak to all the others, the select service folks. I'll have 1,000 of them in the room. And you know who I'm speaking to? I'm not speaking to 1,000 motel owners or select service hotel operators. I'm speaking to 1,000 people that have multiple millions of dollars in the bank
They have your job, 100
off a 60-room hotel or a 120-room hotel. And they started with that, and now they've got 20 of those
sell
things.
99 seats.
It's a remarkable business if you run it well. And it's not just revenue generating, it's also a real estate play today. I was at a conference, this was
sold again
right before the 2008 bust, and there was a fellow in there who had operated a Best Western, a 100-room Best Western hotel in Miami Beach for 25 years. He had made a ton of money operating that hotel for 25 years. Does everybody want to spend $300 a night when they go to Miami Beach? Some people are totally happy spending $49 a night, right? Because they're going to say, well, I'm not going to be in the room anyway, right? So this guy made oodles of money selling rooms at his hotel. But you know when he made the most money? Is when he sold his land.
Macy's still sell that sweater.
He sold his land for $25 million.
To somebody else, or they can sell it the next
Little bitty piece of land. But somebody now could put up a 50-story hotel on that little parcel of land that he had the wherewithal and the foresight and the courage to buy 30 years ago.
It's gone.
So it's not
We've lost
just
it. Where? We've
revenue
never lost the
from
opportunity to
operations.
generate
You
revenue
have to
from
think
that
real
sale
estate
of that
today
commodity.
as well,
Does that
whether
help?
it's a restaurant
Okay.
or whether it's a
So,
hotel.
Perishability is a big reason.
And that helps you
why
decide
this industry
feasibility,
is the way it is,
return on
and why
investment,
there's always
and
a
exit
sense of
strategy.
urgency to sell.
Everybody get that?
That's also leads us to do what?
That
Good.
What does this industry do that
So far, so
other
good?
businesses typically don't?
There were a few other questions on the quiz. Anybody remember what they were? Because I don't.
Hotel.
you got to be aware of
You're
that.
going to stop
That's
when I
not
have
their
100
gig, right? It's
reservations?
yours, and you got to realize.
I'm sorry, I
not
can't.
What am I going to
One more
do?
time.
So you got to be cognizant. So did she get the
I'm
order
going to
right?
sell them all out, but am I also going to
did.
sell
Who is
to
the
you
second
and
command in the
people don't
kitchen?
show?
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I know you.
Who is the
doesn't
second
sound
in
right,
command in the
doesn't feel
kitchen?
good, but that's what
Sous
the
chef.
does. And where
Who
does the
speaks French?
hotel industry learn to overbook?
Sous stands for under. We also call it the assistant chef.
Overbook from airlines.
This is the
So
person, the
airlines
chef,
overbook. Have you ever
what we
been
call the
drunk off a
executive
flight?
chef,
Or somebody ever offered you
right,
money?
will answer to whom in a hotel?
That's because they what they call oversold.
The executive chef will answer to whom? Food
I
and
have
beverage
100 seats to
director.
sell,
Then the food
but
and
I
beverage
know
director answers to
historically
whom?
that 10 people are
GM,
going
right?
to
Okay,
are going
great.
to cancel or not show
And
up.
then who answers
I'm
to
gonna
the
sell
executive
110
chef?
seats.
The sous chef. So the executive chef is the
I
person
don't want
that
to lose the
typically
revenue
designs
off
the
those 10
menu,
seats. Now, what have airlines
hires and
started
fires.
to do because
right?
of that?
The sous chef is typically the person that's in charge of the
Well, they
kitchen
give you-
and what we
what
call
else
the
do they do
kitchen
now? You buy
brigade.
an airline ticket,
Are you a
you-
culinary person?
You don't get a
Okay,
refund.
so can you explain to them
They
very
sell all
quickly the
non-refundable
kitchen brigade
tickets.
system?
You're
We
starting
have
to
the
see
executive
hotels
chef, the
sell
sous chef, under chef.
non-refundable prepaid
Sous is
rooms.
under in French,
starting to
right?
see rent
So the
cars.
assistant chef, and then we have
Pay
the
for
chef
it today,
de
it's non-refundable. We're going to give you a discount.
partie, which stands for?
Even if you cancel, then what happens? They get to keep the money.
And your thoughts and your
See how
It's okay if you can. I don't know either. I was hoping you did. But we have the rotisserie, chef de rotisserie, which is the grill, right?
Guarantee
Grill.
their
And
reservation.
pâtissier, how do you pronounce it?
Here's what
Pâtissier?
you're doing.
Pâtissier, that's the pastry chef, right?
On a busy night,
And who else do we have? We have the tenant.
table of 5.
What's the tenant? Chef de tenant.
And then you turn other reservations away. And
Okay, saucier is in charge of all the sauces, right? We do that. And then help us understand what mise en place means.
The childish,
could spend the
immature
money,
thing
right?
is
You
to
relied
react.
on my promise
What's the big deal?
to turn away.
That's exactly right. A place for everything. How we translate that in the kitchen, mise en place, is a place for everything and everything in its place.
as well.
So when the doors open and customers come in, is everything in the kitchen ready? We have all of our ingredients ready, all of our products ready. So when that first order comes in, are we prepared?
Good.
Creative.
Grill station is set up, the salad station is ready, the dessert station is ready.
You know, the basic 7
All of our garnishes are ready, all of our plates are in the right spot.
Okay, Annalise.
Everything we need to dip sauces is ready to go. A place for everything and everything in its place. Mise en place. M-I-S-E-E-N-P-L-A-C-E.
Levels of
Mise
cereal
en
like you're
place.
being ignored. I'm going to leave most of that to you to read.
What's the solution
Got
there?
it? All right, another question on the quiz that you want to know.
Evolution of this industry and how
Listen
it
to
all
me.
Oh,
ties
Smurf, you guys know what that is, right?
No.
We went over that the other day.
Our boundaries.
Everybody remember? If you go into hotel sales, they always divide them by, you're going to be in charge of Smurf business,
Hey,
which
and
stands
Annalise,
for
when we go
something
to
you wanna
dinner,
do?
social,
It's important to me that we stay engaged.
So,
I don't get on my phone.
religion, and fraternal.
Do it that way.
Social is a big category. Weddings,
or did transportation?
big time. Reunions,
Yeah, put them in the middle of the
family, school reunion, yes. Social, if you just want to go have a party.
History,
Prom, social,
I'm not talking about
absolutely. Okay, so Smurf is one side, the other side is
2,000
business.
years ago.
You have business
I know
travel,
you guys
selling
think
room
the world
nights
started
to
with
stay at the
the
hotel for
hotel
their travelers and their customers,
work that out.
and also banquets and events. Big business, big business. Is the meeting and events business big?
It's yours. Because
Ginormous.
You set the boundaries. You don't go,
Ginormous, $1 trillion business in its own right around the world.
Most other people said logic.
You've got money.
Okay, video conferencing did not end
It's what?
in person-to-person, face-to-face meetings, conferences. and
hold on.
expositions. It's absolutely
You're
huge.
really
Okay?
parents need
What's another question?
I think that's the thing. People used to
Seating.
walk.
Yeah, because if you're talking about banquets and events, you have to know about seating. What style of seating is this?
Own place.
This is theater.
And they couldn't
Classroom
get back
has
that day.
tables in front
What did they have
of the
to have?
chairs for people to take notes.
A place to stay.
Right? Theater seating. What is conference style seating?
So lodging
It's kind of a circular table, right?
started by just that.
Right? If I said to you, I want
Allow other
seating
people to
crescent
stay
rounds
in
of
homes
8.
or stop
What does that
in
mean?
barns when they travel.
Crescent
We
rounds of
have that going
8.
on today.
What does that mean?
I'm okay.
Airbnb or couch surfing.
Nope, horseshoe is
Same
horseshoe.
concept. It just took us a while to monetize it.
Crescent rounds of 8.
Right? So I understand monetize.
So when we talk about tables, you talk about a table that'll hold 8 chairs, table that'll hold 10 chairs, table that'll hold 6 tables.
Get started.
But typically I'll say I want rounds of 8. But if I say crescent rounds of 8, not necessarily half. It means you'll give me a table that would ordinarily seat 10, but you're going to give me 8 seats added. So what?
That could carry more people and more things.
You have more room, but why do I want it crescent? In other words, I don't want the entire table filled with chairs. Why
I
not?
left with 20 people and I got to
I
another
don't
place.
want anybody's
What do I
back
have
to the
have for those
screen.
20 people when they get there.
Now, if I'm not doing a program, do I care? No, put as many people as you want at the table, right? If I'm in a restaurant and I say, seat them at that deuce over there, what does that mean?
Entertainment.
Table for 2, 2 top. Put them at that 4 top,
Look at the evolution
right?
of transportation.
Put table 14 and 15 together to make an 8,
See a synchronization.
right? You see how it works? All right, we'll get back to the restaurant side. But this seating concept in banquets is important. That'll all be part of your BEO. Yeah? What other things go on a BEO? Grady. What else goes on a BEO?
Trains became invented as the continental
What's
railroad
planned? But give me
was
some of
being
those
built.
details. What are some of the things, items that'll be included in
So
that
many
plan?
miles of track would get laid. And the
Audio visual. We
workers
call it
would be
audio
there, they
visual.
would
Exactly
camp.
right. What else?
But the people that took the train had
The
money.
food items that they've
They would
ordered,
end up
time that
at
it
the
needs to be
next
served,
stop. What
how
did
many
they have
portions,
to have for
right?
those people
I
to
need
stay
I
there?
need continental breakfast for 80,
Lodging, food and beverage,
right? Plus coffee served,
entertainment,
plus fresh
saloons,
juices.
etc.
Are there going to be flowers on the table?
All of this
Are the tables going to be skirted? Do you know what that means?
Exactly what happened. A lot of fun. And then
Skirt means that
as
if,
more and
instead
more
of just a
people
table
began
like
to
that, you see how the skirt is on the
what
bottom?
did a town
You see that?
or a city have
Glad
to
I brought this
have?
prop. Oh, I'm gonna
We
lose it.
call it infrastructure.
So if it didn't have this on it, what would you see?
Right, you could have a
You can see the legs, and they're
You can
usually
have a
nasty because they've been
railroad
stacked on top of each
station.
other. But if we skirt it, does it
Or
look
a
better and more
station.
professional?
And you could have a hotel
Yeah,
next
so if
to
your
it.
tables need to be skirted, does the color matter?
But people aren't going to want
Yeah,
to
you
stay
have different
if that's all
colors
you
of skirts
have,
depending on
right?
how
They want to go
big your operation is, right? I need to know how it's set. Is it important to know if the lunch is buffet or seated? Clearly it needs to know that. If it's seated, I need to have many more people there to serve, right? If it's buffet style, I just need some people to set it up. Yeah, and coffee and tea at the table. Yeah. Is dessert going to be preset? Is salad going to be preset? Those things have to be on the BEO. They have. If you want to be on the sales side and the banquet and catering side, you have to be detail oriented.
Wi-Fi.
You have to be.
Twice today before you travel to a local.
Yeah, and if you're putting on an event, do you need to review those carefully to make sure they're right, that your messaging got through and they understand, because that's your event. If you have people with disabilities coming to your event, do you need a ramp on the stage?
All things you guys are used to.
Not recognizing
If it's stairs into the ballroom, does somebody have to put a temporary ramp in for the person in the wheelchair to get up? Yeah, you've got to think about all these things. You just can't look at these things in a vacuum. You have to connect the dots.
Jet. Airline jet service.
right? Because we're good guys.
It enabled us to
Do you
go
understand
further
contribution margin?
than ever before.
Do you understand what a food and beverage director does? Do you understand food cost
Like
percentage?
Tahiti,
Do you understand the way banquet and event spaces are set up?
Back 30 years ago,
Seating
all of
style.
a sudden, jet service.
Do you understand BEO?
I'm not going to apologize.
Tahiti. What does Tahiti have to have?
New York City had those.
Because when you put 300 people there, all of a sudden they don't live there,
Anything else?
and they get off the plane. What are they expecting? They're not going to sleep on the
Do you want
beach.
to count this quiz?
They need a hotel. They need a resort. So there's
but I
a
did it
constant
myself.
synchronization
Look, there's a
and
time.
evolution.
You get to drop one grade.
Travel,
But you don't want to spend this one on your drop?
lodging, and infrastructure in the local,
You get to
local
choose your lowest grade. We'll automatically drop your
Everybody
lowest
see
grade.
that?
But if you miss a grade, you get a, if you miss a quiz, you get a 0. So we drop it.
So let's just review really quickly. What's an OTA?
Anyway, let's see, Brandon, you
Yes,
had your
sir.
hand
On
up.
the yeah, you right there.
People
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Dallas,
yeah.
Theater style is good for lectures.
Tell me your name.
Yeah. So now you calculating your grade?
Yeah, Alex with an E. Alex.
I typically make the
Tell
first
me what's
quiz
an OTA.
practice,
for all the reasons you guys
but it always upsets the
Give me-
people that did
oh, that's
well.
right. Alex was the
stop.
soft
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, Alex.
How
give
many
me
of you
an
think
example
it's
of
fair
an
if we make the first quiz a practice quiz? Raise your hand.
Excellent. I love it.
How many of you that
I
did
love
really
it.
well would be okay making it a practice quiz? That's fine. We have a generous group in here today. So, Spencer, we'll make that a practice
Jose and his
quiz.
brother Jose.
All right. Now,
Well,
hold on.
so we got Jose.
What do we learn from this? Do we learn we
What's perishability mean?
do we learn we have to study? Do you learn the types of questions we're going to ask? If you didn't do well on this exam, did you study well? No. Did you study enough? No. Is there a premium for being prepared when you come into the classroom?
Now, some people will say,
All right,
like, an
guys.
apple is perishable.
It's up to you now, right? You know where we're going and how we're doing it. Hey, great conversation. Let's keep them going. Are you learning? Rock and roll. Go out. Have some fun. Oh, wait, I heard something kind of cute on the Super Bowl, was it?
What's a
Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive.
Yes, ma'am.
No, what was something else? Don't do something.
Lyric.
No, something else that I thought was cute that you guys would like. What was it? Don't something and drive. How many of you put makeup on and drive? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. How many of you read the newspaper or read and drive? Raise your hand. How many of you eat and drive?
They spend their time
Yeah, you guys do
selling the
that.
community.
Remind me not to drive when you guys are out on the road.
You see an advertisement
All right,
in the
hey,
city.
chocolate. How many of you think you can go to the stroll on Thursday night? Yeah, try to go. I think it'll be fun. I'm going to try to make it
What
by.
is
I hope to see you out there. Everybody knows where Central
What's
Market is?
infrastructure?
Oh, I'm sorry. Central Market is on Westheimer between Wesleyan
Okay.
and the Loop.
Infrastructure. Your
It's
name is?
just, if you're going out toward the Galleria from mid to on, it's on your left-hand side just
going.
past
Roads.
Wesleyan. Do you know where Highland Park Village is? Highland Village is, with all the
Electricity,
stores,
gas,
shops.
water,
It's directly
phone
across
lines,
from the start of
Wi-Fi
that.
network.
Central Market.
Right.
It's the one
That's
on
the
Westheimer and
infrastructure.
Wesleyan, right on the corner. You can't miss
That
it.
enables
Hope to see you there. Hey, guys.
to live.
Hey, hey. Chapter 5 for Thursday, right?
Meet the
Be ready.
needs
Okay, see you then.
of the
Bye-bye.
residents and visitors. You need an infrastructure. Okay? All right, good. So now you kind of have the history and how it's tied. You know a little bit about the business and how it's growing. Let's go back and just do a quick review of all of the areas that we're going to be thinking about that makes up this incredible economic powerhouse. Right? That you guys are thinking about going into. So in your book, there's a page that has an umbrella. Can you open that up? If you need to get online to look, if you've got a digital book, go right ahead and do that. If you don't have a book, get with somebody that does. Lean over, move if you need to, but I want you to see this umbrella. You need to look? Okay. Jordan, you got a book? Oh, you're going to pull it up. What page is it on, ma'am, in the red? 15? Thank you very much. Okay, what's the very first item there
You want to go from the airport.
on the left-hand side of that umbrella?
Airport to downtown Houston. It's going
Travel. Do you have one? Young man in the back, can you look
I can
on
get
her?
on when I get
Can you
off.
see her? Yeah, you got it? Okay.
So it's gonna be
Travel. What's under travel?
same distance from the
Jose, what's under travel?
Atlanta's the same thing.
Right. Travel, transportation, ecotourism.
Really want
Lyric,
to
what
be
is that?
a tourist destination. Right. We have to make it easy for people to move around.
Exactly
And they
right.
have to be able to
To
move around
experience
after
nature.
they've
And
been
what does
consuming
that mean
alcohol.
we have to do
In a
if
safe
we're
way.
in that area and or we visit that area?
Or if they're going to rent cars, we have to give them infrastructure, and that means parking.
That's exactly right. Because if we don't, will that erode? And other people won't get an opportunity to see it. So sustainability is crucial when we think of ecotourism.
Parking,
Very good.
traffic
All right.
congestion.
All the modes of transportation,
What
air,
makes
sea,
unique
ground. Yep.
from those other major cities we've talked about.
Ecotourism.
What
Excellent.
do we
What's
not
the
have
next
that those
one?
other cities have?
Lodging. Read it out loud for me, Laura.
Are you familiar with zoning?
up this part of the discussion.
Hotels, motels, and resorts. The book is out of date, isn't it?
Government's regulatory
What are we missing?
scheme, not
Well,
serving
what we call shared services.
derogatory
Airbnb is a brand that represents that. What about HomeAway? Are you familiar with that?
Absolutely not.
HomeAway is an example like Airbnb. It's another one. And look, I bring these things up to you because don't just think about going to work for Hilton. There are lots of jobs with Airbnb.
So you can have
At the
duplexes,
corporate level.
duplexes, apartment
Lots of
houses.
jobs with
Over
Uber at
here,
the
you can
corporate
have
level.
commercial.
So think big,
But at a
think
certain
broad,
level of
think
commercial,
bold.
It can be retail,
Think about a
Or it
career.
could be
Think about
restaurant,
something that
or
really
it could be
drives
hotel.
you and interests
but
you.
you can't have warehouses and distribution.
Now, we're
points
missing
in
some
this
other
area.
things in that
Those
lodging
are all
category.
zoned
How many of you ever
someplace
stayed in a hostel?
And it's like a cookie cutter.
Stay in a
system
hostel.
In the city.
Everybody know what a hostel is?
Does not have that.
It's a
You see that?
relatively
Now, communities
inexpensive
like
place
Katy
of lodging
have
where you
developed
typically
zoning.
share a room with 3 or
And they
4
have
other
created
people.
Neighborhood restriction.
Yeah? Might be a
that act
community
like
bath.
zone, right? You can't go put a bar next to Collins Home.
Depends on how much you want
in
to
his
pay,
neighborhood
but
in
they're
Katy.
usually placed in
Can you do
pretty
that
cool parts of
inside
the
loop
city,
in Houston,
but they're usually a
except
cheaper
for
option.
Westview and River
You've heard
Oaks.
of people backpacking around
Yeah,
Europe,
because they have
South
neighborhood
America. They'll
restrictions.
typically 1 or 2
even
nights
in
a week.
Westview,
If they're not camping or
some of
hanging
those
out, they'll stay at a hostel.
Don't you have a lot of
A hostel is
commercial
usually
activity
about
inside the residential
30% of what a hotel is.
inside the loop?
it's a much
here
cheaper
is
option.
Where I live in the Montrose area.
Travel. So hostels are
That's
good examples
crazy.
of lodging.
Right?
What about cruise
Bars,
ships?
the restaurants, the homes.
Are they a form of lodging?
Right there. When I moved
Yeah,
in
it's
almost
a
8
hybrid.
years
It's
ago,
transportation
I call
and
it
lodging combined.
transition.
Very good. What about hospitals?
Hey,
Lodging?
collect that.
Absolutely.
But
Now,
transition a lot.
are hotels starting to interfere with the apartment business?
Now, we're
How many of you have
missing
stayed
one
in a
big thing
long-term
that has
stay
happened.
hotel?
Tourism.
Anybody done that? Your family relocated to a certain area, so you stay for 30 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 30 days in a hotel. Give me a name of a brand of a long-term stay.
What about on the housing side? Has Airbnb been a
Extended
good thing
Stay America
for communities?
is an example of a long-term stay. It's a
Well,
different
If
model.
you're in the hotel business,
They don't really want
it
people just
certainly
to come
hasn't
for
been.
1 night. They want people to stay a week,
Because that's
2 weeks,
established.
a
It
month,
takes away
6 months, a year.
Demand for a hotel, what happens to the price?
They fill that gap between permanent residency and transient occupancy. Hotels
Airbnb a good
are
thing
in the
for
business
everybody.
primarily of transient occupancy.
live in a neighborhood.
People that aren't staying there for a long stretch. Apartment, well, rent to tenants. People that want to establish a residency there.
Are you going to want
Right.
cars parked up and
That's
down
what
the
being
street?
late is about.
You don't
Everybody see that?
But if you're the person
Long-term stay hotels fill that gap a little bit.
stay in your neighborhood.
People don't want to sign a year-long lease for an apartment, but they need to stay longer than a week.
when you're thinking,
A
well,
long-term stay hotel.
About the
right?
political economics
Who's putting your
of these
putting
developments.
themselves in that situation?
and the
Just making sure you're in the right place, young man. You're supposed to be in the introduction to hospitality. It started at 10 o'clock. Are you supposed to be
meet up.
introduction to technology?
the dots.
And if you can be on time,
In either
let's
one?
do this.
What room are you looking for?
Not, I got other things to do.
This is S104.
And that's absolutely okay.
You're
to say.
probably, is it
And you got to
is
be
it just
okay
104?
with the friendship
was
going off in
two.
another direction.
Yeah.
how else do we meet?
Okay.
That's gotta be it. I just had to have that.
This is what I think where you're supposed to be.
She loves to meet up.
If
but
you'll
she's
go out-
always
Go
late
all the
for
way
about 5
here,
minutes.
just walk through the class.
Hey,
Go out that
tax
door
dollars.
that's
And
over
yeah, the
here.
first couple of times,
And you're
I
going
was
to
like,
see
she
some
goes,
doors that'll go strike that. Spencer.
I said, for you,
Spencer,
that may not be.
take him
the
over to the
thing.
continuing. You know where you're going? Continuing ed over there?
Is
Yeah, and if that's not 104, the other Foods 2 lab or the kitchen over there, but I think those are closed down for renovation. All right, so hang with him until he finds what he's looking for. See? Yeah. Good luck, bud. Spencer
social side.
gets extra credit for knowing where things are. If I'd asked one of you to escort him, you'd have gone, I don't think
You
so.
guys understand occupancy tax?
Right? All right. That's why you need to know where you're going, and you got to take that tour. And Spencer took a lot of time building the tour. Take the tour. It'll serve you well.
Then they're late and
Plus,
you're
I might
angry.
get lost,
Why
and
would
you need
you
to
do
escort
that?
me. Is that customer service?
Always
See,
have
customer service, you just don't go. Customer service, you go, Spencer, take him over there.
movie. Today, there is absolutely zero reason
The tour's on
to not
Blackboard.
have anything to do.
Yeah. Anybody find it?
Nothing. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so
It's on
much
Blackboard.
right here, right here.
Hilton College Tour.
It's impossible
Start you
to
at a
not
certain
have
place,
anything
just
to
walk.
do.
It'll take you 15 minutes. And just walk around during your break in class. All right, what were we talking about?
Money on renting a car. Don't rent it at the airport.
Lodging, right? And we were adding things to it. Hospital,
Fees
hotels with doctors,
help build the car infrastructure.
extended stay America, right? We talked about the difference in the gap. You got all that. Transient, tenants, the gap. Everybody? Okay. I think we covered lodging now. Hey, what's the difference between a hotel and a motel? Motels historically are cheaper, but we started out with motels before we got to hotels. But what's the difference? Outside access. Very good. Motel is short for motor hotel.
But we're not getting the
You
money.
drive your car up to your room. You get out of your car, you walk into your guest room, or you go upstairs to your guest room. It's exterior access. The hotel, you into the lobby, and you access your room from an interior corridor.
Group of friends, and we all get together about once a month.
Everybody understand?
One of my friends
Interior corridor.
is the organizer.
Hotel versus motel. You should charge extra for that. That was really good.
And apparently two
Yes,
of us,
sir.
That's their job.
we had confirmed already, but she sent a reconfirm out, and a couple of us confirmed. One
If a
day
hotel
we
had to have a
did
restaurant?
whole
Oh, what a
hour
great
dinner
question.
conversation.
We'll learn more about that on Thursday when we study hotels, because there are different types of hotels.
And
Now,
now
you
they're
may
looking
be
at their
confusing.
tax.
Last week we
That's
talked
when you
about
know
country
you're trying
clubs.
to be right
What do country clubs have to have to be a country club?
To solve it.
Golf
right?
course.
This isn't CSI.
Yeah. Nick worked in the
It's
pro
not
shop,
law
right,
and
Nick?
order. When you
So
feel
that's
like
where you
you've
can be-
gotta
but you have to
prove
have a
somebody what you
golf
said or
club
did,
to be a
you
country
gotta
club.
realize
But a
you're going
hotel,
down a bad
no.
path.
Just
This
rooms
is turned from
to
a
rent
friendship
now.
into a courthouse.
There are different levels.
If you
of
want to be in
hotel.
the courthouse, go
Select
be a
service
police officer
hotels that just
or be a
have rooms.
lawyer.
Full-service hotels that
Trust me,
also
you don't
provide
wanna drag
restaurants,
that
room
stuff
service,
into your
things like that.
friendship.
And we'll
We'll
talk
talk a
about
lot
those
more about it when we
distinctions
talk about
as we get into
conflict
hotels
resolution.
over the next
But
couple
it
of
was
days.
just ridiculous.
Yeah, very
how back
good
and
question.
forth they went.
We find it?
It was just a misunderstanding.
104?
He felt like, and he had confirmed the first time. When she reconfirmed,
Over on
he
this
thought
side.
to himself, well, I'd already reconfirmed.
Oh, he was in 114. I thought he said 104.
She didn't write back to
bring it up
him.
Ah, okay.
Many of our
All right.
students get
My
hired
class, you
by
See
the
how that
Convention
happens?
Office
Misinformation.
how
every
not
year.
to do
Fake
things.
news.
And their internships every summer. And they also,
right.
Houston First.
Let's get through these really quickly. I want you guys to get outside.
Houston First also.
Lodging. What's next?
Hotel downtown.
Assembly and events. Listen, do not underestimate this as a career path.
We go to school for 3
Meetings,
Bought a
events,
franchise. They bought a
conventions,
franchise.
trillion-dollar business. What's the largest convention that comes to the city of Houston every year? Attracts more people than anybody else.
But it's been good for the city.
Oh, the Offshore Technology Conference drives a lot of people, but I think the one I'm thinking of is even bigger.
Hotel rooms downtown.
The rodeo we call more of an event, not so much as a convention, but the rodeo outdraws everybody and everything. The rodeo in, I think, 21 days outdraws the entire Houston Astros home baseball schedule, 80 days. It's crazy how much the rodeo draws.
Their job is
The quilt convention.
create more traffic.
The quilt convention. Yeah. If you haven't been to the quilt convention in Houston, you need to go. It is huge. You know what a quilt is, right? Quilts? You see the most crazy things ever, and it's so much fun to go see. Yeah, and they hold it down at the George R. Brown. You walk around, you look at quilts all day long. And you're like, ooh, that feels good. And you see all these women over there. And you got a lot of men now, too, that are quilting, and they do that. It's big business, quilt business. Okay, so meetings and events. What is under that umbrella?
U.S. Travel Association. Their job
And expositions. And as we go through the course, you're going to learn the difference between an exposition and a meeting and an event. Hang on to those thoughts. What's next?
companies it is.
Restaurants and managed services. Let's make that food and beverage, right? Do we have food and beverage on a college campus?
Hotel company.
Is that a restaurant or is that a managed service? That's a managed service. The university doesn't run the food and beverage here. They hire a third party to manage their food and beverage. Right?
But we're slow to
If I don't know how to operate a hotel, but I got some money and I want to open and own a hotel, can I hire a third party to manage it for me? Yes. Same thing with food and beverage. Do you see? Okay, good. Food and beverage is huge business. Beverage is every bit as big as food.
infrastructure.
All right. What's next?
Manage it right.
Recreation, clubs. Are festivals big business today? How many of you have gone out to a music festival lately?
Politics.
How many of you go out to the Ren
Political
Fair?
economics.
How many of you think like I do
So if I asked you on the exam to explain the multiplier effect,
that camping is a hotel with one
I
bar?
wouldn't want to be in a
would
mouth.
you give me an
I don't know.
example?
You guys, you be in somebody's mouth all
You didn't
day
get
long?
it.
I'm not sure I could do that.
How many of you like to
You
camp?
want to be a dentist? Well, there you go.
Oh,
Any
that's
of you like going to the dentist?
We
Who likes
talked
going to
about
the dentist?
if Matt is
you
leaving
guys
Houston
do?
with
You
his
guys
money
do?
and going to
Really?
spend it
Likes to be outside.
in
I
Bossier
gotta
City,
take like a
Louisiana.
value.
That money leaked out of our economy
I did that when I was like 8.
and
I had
went
enough of
over and it
that.
was spent
You guys
over
have
there.
these? No,
It's
thanks.
discretionary
You
money.
guys all have
refrigerator.
We
these? Do you have one
support
now
that
here
in
with you?
public schools,
Oh,
public
bed.
roadways,
with you.
Wi-Fi,
Now,
etc.
Mosquitoes. I
We
don't
want
want
his
it.
money
And I don't like
spent here.
snakes.
Where's he spending his
Okay,
discretionary
I'm not a
money?
fan of
Pass them out on
snakes.
this
Hey guys,
side, 'cause they
great
stand
class,
close together real
great
quick.
conversation.
Reinforce what
You've got a
we've
little
got.
more to do
Now-
in chapter 1, right? Hey, you're going to be
Remember
prepared
this
for
one.
chapter 2
These are
on
your goals.
Thursday,
This
right?
darker one, right?
I'm giving you, I'm letting you out.
Lots of
I
things
want
to
you to
do
go
to
out front.
Okay, guys, great conversation. Call it a day. What's today, Thursday? Don't drink and drive. Have fun, but don't.